everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39. I've done a couple of videos for this mini album. One is the walkthrough, one is the tutorial, and this video is how I decorated this mini album. I mainly have cut out the paper and go through it fairly quickly. If it's too fast for you, you can go into your settings, well, probably down here, settings, and go in slow motion, or just stop it from time to time if you are decorating it the exact same way that I did. I do stop from time to time and tell you exactly how I do some different elements of it. But people have been asking how I decorate, so I am going to show you. I don't give you measurements because I like to have a 1/16 of an inch border. Some people like widers, although here I did have a wider border. So I've just pretty much left that up to you. But if you want to see a decorating video, or if you just want company while you do some crafting, have at it. This is the final video of this series. So I'm going to real quick go through so you can see what it is and refer back to this if you have a question. So I'm not going to do much talking. I'm just going to go through the pages. So here's the front cover. Lots of layers. Inside front cover. One front. I call it 1F. There's a magnet here. There's a magnet under here. There are photo mats, and I'm not positive I give the measurements of the photo mats, but they're 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. I cut the paper to 6 inches and then cut this out, and again I show you that how I do that in the video. 1B for one back. This goes like this. I do move this over. 2F for 2 front. I show you how I do these fun banners. 2B, or not 2B, 2 back. 3F, that's a folder which is 3 1/2 by 5 1/4, but you can make that whatever size you want. That goes like that. That goes like that. Don't have too many pockets in this. I made it very simple for people who are not familiar with mini albums, just so they can figure out where to put the pictures, because there are photo mats. But it doesn't mean you could not put a photo right here, or a small series of photos here if you wanted to. Another magnet here. Another magnet on the other side of that. I used one of the stickers for that. And here is a pocket that you can put everything else in that doesn't have room in the mini album. This is a 4 1/2 by 6 1/2 folder, but you can put lots of things in here, or you could add a piece of paper here and give that as a card. I mean, it doesn't have to be graduation. That card could be for taking out the trash. And then there's the back. There's the spine. And there we are back at the front. So I hope you enjoyed this. Now stay tuned and we will go through decorating the mini album. This is in fast motion, so it's going to be fast pace. I'm just going to walk through and tell you what I'm doing. And obviously I'm layering up cardstock on top of larger pieces of paper to make either a photo mat or to put on some graphics. So for these 2 pages, excuse me, this is sort of the accent piece. Each page has an accent piece that helps me determine exactly what I was doing as far as coloring on the page and what paper selection I was going to use. So, and now I am just adding glue. I've already cut down these. I'm not going to give you measurements because, number one, it takes too long. Number two, everybody measures differently or uses a different size margin. So anyhow, I am adding a couple of pieces on this one page, I've got the graduation caps on the top, and I've got the gold stars on the bottom. Incidentally, all of the pages in this collection, the back side all has cut-aparts. The front side, or really the B side, is all the decorative paper. So I've usually get decorative paper and decorative paper. Usually don't get all cut-aparts. I did order 2 sets of the plain cardstock, plain matching paper to go with it, matching cardstock, and I'm glad I did. I think it made it really striking. The graphics on these cut-aparts, I think, was fabulous. Somebody really must have had fun doing all of the writing on this. It really is wonderful. So anyhow, I am adding all of my paper to this, and I'm going to go afterwards and add all of the photo mats, and then after that I'm going to go through and decorate, and then I will make the hidden pocket pages for the inside of the pages. This one I'm using some extra score tape on. I just didn't feel comfortable that it was going to stick real well, so I added an extra piece of score tape. Here is a folder. Oh, I know, I wanted to make sure the folder would open, so I added the extra score tape to this one. And just layering up several different layers. We have the black. The black cardstock came with the collection, then some white plain cardstock, then black, and then white for the photo mat. And there's a magnet underneath there. And then the opposite page just has the graduation caps, and that just makes a nice presentation. Yeah, like it. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put the photo mats. And I do end up doing that, but I think I take the photo mats out and said I'll deal with that later. And now I'm gluing everything down. Once I open up the page, the stars, and then that one works real well. I'm happy with that. All right, so I have lots of layers again. Again, with the graphics, I just thought the layers really made it very striking. So I just let the paper do the talking, and it helped me decide exactly how I was going to do the decorating. So yeah, lots of glue went into this mini album. It's probably 2 pounds heavier because of it. Not really. Once it dries, it won't be so bad. But it does make it very solid, and it does make me feel very happy that there is a 1/2 inch gusset in between the pages. I sort of thought that this was too much pattern on these 2 pages, but once we put on the photo mats, it looks perfect. So, you know, if you're ever in doubt, know that you're going to add the photo mats, and that helps break it up, in addition to stickers and anything else you have to help break it up. And I like this plaid. I think it's neat. You know, it's interesting. And the good thing about this book is this is great for male or female. You know, anybody would look good on the pages. I mean, graduation is usually black gowns or blue or whatever, but whatever you have is going to look good on the black and white pages with the touch of gold. So I just like it for that. I was wondering if I should add an extra accent color, but not knowing what color the graduate who gets this album would use, I just thought we'll just stick with the black, white, and gold, and gray. Okay, and I'm happy with how this one turned out. All right, this one, I just want to tell you that the huge cut apart, I cut down to 5 inches, so I cut a 1/2 inch off on each side. I thought the 6 inches was a little bit too big for the page, and there was lots of extra that you could cut it down. It's not a big deal. And again, it's another graphic that I really loved. So yeah, just gluing everything. Oh, I want to tell you, when I go through and I'm cutting the paper to put on, I usually cut the paper when I'm in a fairly creative mood, and then I glue down when, you know, the end of the day or the beginning of the day when I'm warming up. So I do separate that, and I also use my ATG to just put an inch of the ATG tape down just to hold the papers in place until I'm ready to glue. It also gives me the possibility that if I change my mind, I can move things. Yeah, it got a little chilly, and I'm wearing a red flannel shirt. Okay, I'm trying to make this extra little booklet, and that's the graphic that's going to go on top of the booklet, and I just feel like it needs a little more layer. And I don't mind it's more room on the bottom than the top because it's going to sit in the pocket. So here we are going to put on this, and again I'm going to decorate this. I haven't gone through the stickers yet. So now I'm trying to get this into the pocket and put my little booklet in, and there we go. And then do the pages on the back of the pocket. And then the front, I didn't like that because it had a piece of glue on it, so I did cut another one. I end up being able to use that glue piece because I used the back side of it somewhere. Okay, and Photomat, I've put on another piece of cardstock. And there's a little piece on the bottom. You can't tell, but that one piece is a little wonky, but once I put a sticker on the bottom of it, you won't notice that it's wonky. Okay, there's that. Alright, another one that's got that small flap on the side. It gives it a good spot to add some of the pattern. And you could make a small pocket. I was going to put a small pocket on the back of here. If there were smaller tags, say 2-inch tags in this collection or something I could have cut down, I would have put a pocket here. So I reserve the right to add pockets anytime. You should add the magnet after you've put all of the items in there because it might move, but I didn't have any problems with it, and I figured even if you add 4 photos to a page, it's not going to change things. So we've got the magnet, so I know where that's going to be on the page, so that's why I add the glue to the one side, and that works perfectly. So same with this. I'm going to first glue the graphic to the front. I left the little border strip on because it doesn't matter. You're not going to see it. Now I take this piece and put it on. I realize there's some piece of glue, see that on the where my hand is right now? And so I move that to the top portion because I know I'm going to cover it with that cut apart. So I'll go ahead and add these pieces. I'm going to put a sticker in between these two pieces just to have them stand apart a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and do the center, the inside of this page. And you see that cut apart? I'm going to do the pocket first, but that cut apart is 4x6, and that page is 3.5 because we cut it at 4. So what I did is grabbed a piece of Photomat and cut that. I grabbed a piece of cardstock and cut it 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and just glued that onto that pocket so I could use that cut apart for that pocket, and it turns out perfect. You would never know that the pocket is really a little bit smaller. All right, a couple more final pieces. Here I add a little glue to the side. I'm putting a piece of paper there because I think the glue on the side was a little runny. And then I realized I didn't glue this down, so I glue that down. And we are done with covering all of the pages. I'm working on the spine, so I put a piece of black cardstock down that's about 1 inch and 7/8, maybe a little bigger. And then I'm adding a couple of pieces of scrap paper, and I have some glitter paper. I'm brushing off the glitter. Have I told you that I hate glitter? I don't know why I chose to use it. Now I do, because, you know, graduation, you need a little sparkle. But next time I get it, I'm going to make sure I brush it all off before I start playing with it. Or even take a vacuum cleaner to it. All right, add another piece. And now I decided I better put the spine piece on. I'm going to add some score tape to this. I put the glue on, and then I said, oh, you know what, before I put that down, let me put the spine piece on. So I put the book on, put the book on its side, put the spine piece on, and then lay the book flat so I can make sure that those glitter pieces are centered or level. And there we go. There is the book. Now I'm putting in all of the photo mats. I've got 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 photo mats on the center page, or the base page, really. Most of the photo mats are 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. I do have a couple of square ones that are a little smaller. In the walkthrough, I will have counted exactly how many photo mats I can get. I put this one photo mat over to the left, so when you open up that page or close the page, you don't see the photo mat or the photo. I don't know, I just like it to sort of be hidden, so when you open it up, it's like, oh yeah, wow. This one I moved down for a couple of reasons. Number one, there is a piece where a piece of glue stuck to the very top left-hand corner right there. And I'm going to also put a different feature in there, which you'll see, or if you saw the walkthrough, you've already seen. My glue's not coming out, so I struggle with that. And another small square piece. I'm thinking I'm going to put that one piece on the bottom, but I am not positive. And these other photo mats, I am just centering on the pages. Same with this. Realize the glue is smudging, but it's okay. This one photo mat, I put a piece of gray behind the black, and there is the booklet, and there we go. Okay, on this page I'm going to put a banner up at the top. There is a little piece of white showing on the top where some glue stuck on the page next to it, so I want to cover that up, and plus a banner would be fun. So I'm going to show you how I did that. There are banners on the sticker sheet, so I took them and put them on a piece of cardstock. And then I am going to take this whole piece and I'm going to score it about 1/8 of an inch away. I end up moving some closer to that score line because it looked like it was a little bit too far away from it. And then I'm using my paper trimmer to cut it down. But I realized a little bit later that I want to trim them a little closer, so I just grabbed my scissors. No big deal. I probably should have glued these down, but good thing I didn't, since I did end up moving some. Now, of course, I'm going to try to duplicate the exact banner shape. And then at the top, I make that piece to the top of the fold line in sort of a trapezoid, so that way you don't see the edges of it when we fold it over. And really that's pretty much it. I just do a little bit of trimming and fold over that little trapezoid piece. And we're going to make this go faster while I'm cutting the rest of it. And then after I get them all cut, I go into my stash and find a piece of string that is gold and white. And I try to tie a little bow at the end. And I stink at tying bows, so it takes me 8 times as long. Yeah, I put on the black paper so you can see it. Took me a while to figure that out. And I don't even have it on the black paper, but you'll see it in a second. I was just trying to see what size I needed to do on the page. When I'm done, I just put a little glue on the knot so it doesn't untie. And then I turn all those little flags over and put them under the string on top of it. I glue them all down I start with the 2 end pieces, then the center, and then the 2 other pieces. And there we go, a banner. See, you can see some of them are uneven, but you know, we see it now, but when you put everything else in the book, you won't notice it. And all I'm going to do is glue down the actual banners at the top. I start at the center and then work my way out from there. And I put a teeny dot of glue underneath. I need to make that bow a little bigger. Underneath the little bows so they don't go anywhere. And that's how I do that. All right, I am going to make the hidden pages that will go in between each of the pockets. I'm trying to figure out, I first mark each one, 1 in the center and 2 on the sides. And I'm using my tab punch scoreboard. If you don't have one of these, then you can get, there's some tab punches that you can get and glue onto the page. But if you have a tab punch scoreboard, it is fabulous. I have figured out on the scoreboard exactly how to cut it so it's about 1/8 of an inch bigger than my tab punch that I have. Okay, and I work with the rest of the tab punch board and just take off the excess. You could actually use a scissors or even better a ruler and a straight edge to cut this off because I'm not really happy with how straight it cuts, but it works. All right, now I am grabbing my tab punch to punch out the tabs to go on the tabs, obviously. I'm trying to figure out what paper I've got in my stash that would work. Do I like this one? No. I thought I would use the plaid and then decided not to use the plaid. So I'm looking for something in my stash. Do I like the gold stars? No, I really don't. So I do like this paper. And I want to make sure I have enough. So I'm going to go ahead and use that black with the teeny tiny dots. So I'm going to punch out 2 tabs for each piece, add some glue, and you do see, you might be able to see, there's a little margin around each of those tabs. I end up cutting down my paper. Instead of 7.5 by 6, I cut it to 7 1/4 by 6. I just like how it fits in the book a little better. So here it is. I put some white cardstock on there so you can add a 5 by 7 photo or 4 by 6 if you want. And that adds room for 3 extra photos. And there is the graduation mini album using the paper from Echo Park. This was a design team project for Country Craft Creations. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking along. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you know when more videos are coming out. And thank you. Have a fabulous day.